Member for Barton.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I might just change the tone that's going on into this chamber because there's some people that are really impacted by this issue, and housing is the biggest issue that I learned through my time at St Vincent's de Paul. Now, I just want to reflect on some of the remarks from the member for Hume today. He talked a lot of smack about other people in this chamber and outside the chamber, but also, one thing he didn't mention, he didn't talk about young people. He didn't talk about the future of Australia. He didn't even provide any alternative to the Australian people then taking this down. And I think what we need to highlight, we have to be honest about the housing system. It's broken. We know that. And that since 1999, house prices have risen by more than 400%. Wages have not kept up. In 1999, I was 12 years old. I am now 39. And that means the rise in house prices has happened entirely across my young adult life and full adult life. And so as a 39-year-old, it took a long time between myself and my husband to save to buy our first home. And I feel very grateful that we were able to buy in the St George area, in my electorate, and being close to family and friends and places where we work. But since being elected to this place, we've also been able to purchase a small apartment in Canberra to juggle the lifestyle of between here and being back in the electorate. And I also had the opportunity to be a scientist and a lawyer. And I know some people making comments today about asking whether people are small business owners. Myself, I was not a small business owner, but I know there's a lot of people in this side of the chamber who have. But also I have the privilege to be a member of parliament. And in those roles, I've been in these different points of my life. It's given me access to secure work and decent pay. That was not because only of working hard, but also the people I grew up also worked hard. But the reality is we live in one of the luckiest countries in the world. We have so much opportunity. And my experience, I was in the right industries at the right time with the right opportunities. And I have friends who also grew up who worked very hard, and they worked hard at school, they completed their training, they built their careers, they're raising their beautiful kids, and they're caring for their parents, and they've done all the right things, Deputy Speaker. All the right things. And still they're struggling to buy a home. We talk a lot about houses and investment, but it's a home. And I cannot look at my friends and other people in my community in the eye and tell them that the current system is fair. I can't. And I can't defend a system that tells people my age to suck it up and keep supporting rules that favour investments over homes, because that's what we've heard today from the member for Hume, the member for Lindsay, and I had the privilege to also help people in the member of Lindsay's electorate as well when I worked at St Vincent's de Paul. It's not all roses in the member for Lindsay's electorate. There are people really struggling. 1 in 3 people that came to St Vincent's de Paul Society were first-timers. They had 2 secure jobs in the household, 2 incomes coming in, but struggled to pay the rent. That is a reality for many people, even the people in the member for Lindsay's seat. And if it hadn't been hard for people my age, I cannot begin to imagine how hard it is for Australians 10 years younger than me, who are approaching 30, who are about to take the next step in life, who want to settle down, have their first kid, maybe have another kid, build stability, stay near to people they love. But then they look at their bank accounts and they think, where on earth are they supposed to come from, this money? Deputy Speaker, last week I had the opportunity to go to a youth radio station in Kogarah and meet some of the volunteers there. And one young woman said to me, and she's about 17 years old, and she said to me, Ash, I've accepted the fact that I will never own my home. This is the reality of young people. They have resigned to the fact that they will never own a home. We can't ride them off. We can't keep talking about avocado and toast. Those are the days that have to end. The reality is she is 17. These are young people, and this is not the Australia we should accept. And this is not the future we should ask our young people to settle for. And Deputy Speaker, I'm not giving up on the Australian dream, the dream that you can own your home, and that you can live near your family and people you love. You can build a stable, secure life through hard work. And this government is not giving up on that dream either. And that is why we have introduced this budget. And the Australian dream should not be something a 17-year-old has to already give up on.